Y'all, it's your girl Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy, and I am here with a new segment that I call Comments Going Crazy. Now, this channel, Black Fairy Tings, is dedicated to women, our empowerment, deconstructing patriarchy, which also includes deconstructing Christianity. And I go through my thoughts and feelings on the things that I read and discover right here on this channel. I also am reading a book, When God Was a Woman, by Marilyn Stone right now. I'll be recording chapter 5 this weekend. And if you haven't, go check out the other videos. They're amazing. If you're interested in reading that book, I think every woman should read that book. I think men should read that book. But today's video is, am I simply just trying to make Black men the villain? This was brought to my attention in the comment section on Threads for the video that I just created the other day, where I give my opinion on a question that was raised on whether or not Black men would be okay with slavery if it had just been Black women. My answer is yes. Yes, I do. I will tag that video below if you want to go check it out for more context, because this is about a comment from, of course, a Black man who thinks I'm simply just trying to villainize y'all. We're going to get right into it after I play the intro.
Yes. I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.
So, as I'm sure you know, opinions such as mine tend to get a lot of attention, especially by the nignogs and the niggatry brigade, the niggatry brigade, as I call them, and the dusties, the bandits. They all congregate trying to put women in their place. But I don't care what y'all gotta say. I don't have an allegiance to losers.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
It's not like me. It's just not. So we are going to get into it. I thought I set it up, but it doesn't look like something happened. So let me just go to share. Scroll down. And shimmy. I'm still figuring out this thing. Okay. I want it to be like this, I think. And we will add to stage. Ooh, that's kind of small. Okay, so maybe I'll do it like this so that you're able to see what I'm talking about here. I'm hoping, I didn't really double check that they're all in sequence. I'm hoping they are. They should be. But let's get into this. This was from the Warmongers _ on Threads. So to that video, which is listed in the video below, he goes, "This is ridiculous." Now, at first, I was cool. I was like, okay, you're allowed to feel that way. I'm not trying to fight. I'm not trying to argue. I personally don't care what you think. You can think what you want as a male. I'm not really trying to converse and talk to y'all about what I'm talking about. I'm really interested in finding women who are similar in all this. I don't know. I don't like this, y'all. Let me just put it back over here. What about this? What about this? Okay, this might be a little bit better. So let's get into it, right? So he's like, this is ridiculous. I said, you're allowed to feel that way. Jade, the villain, had a comment to say to him, just questioning about it, which brought me into the conversation a bit more. You know, so to her, let me just go back real quick and read what she said so you can see. So it says, well, what's ridiculous about it? Are you going to point out any discrepancies in what she said, or you just wanted to say something to feel important and included? Love you, Jade, because that's exactly what he was giving. He goes, hey, I love villains. I just don't think y'all understand how we feel about y'all. It's just very nonsensical to try and say Black men would be okay with having their people whom they love be destroyed for a supposed power from white men. Our communities are basically matriarchal. I don't feel in competition with women and don't know any men who openly say that. And it doesn't seem true. Ethiopia was the only African nation that was never colonized. So they would still have their system today, but they don't. And our African lineage didn't come from East Africa for the majority. It was West Africa. So it wouldn't be any genetic memory passed down from a place we never were. Also, if the men really didn't want to live like that, they would have just risen up and harmed the women. So obviously it wasn't like they didn't like the systems in her supposed Ethiopia. I love y'all though. Don't hate us or think we don't want y'all to be as free as the divine feminine desires to be and safe to do so. There were so many lies, right? So let's go back. Hold on. Oops, I'm going forward. One second, y'all. I'm getting used to this. I had to start. Okay. So let's get into what he said. So he said it's very nonsensical to say that Black men would be okay with having their people whom they love be destroyed for the supposed power from white men. That's literally what you guys are doing every day. Literally, even in 2025, you are doing that. You care more about your image and being equal to the white men than you do about coming together with Black women, right? What else did he say? Our communities are basically matriarchal. They're basically matriarchal, but not because you want it to be that way. It's because you would abandon the homes and you leave it up to the women, right? He says he doesn't feel any competition and he doesn't know any men who do. You guys never know any men, right? You guys never know any men. Numbers are so high, but all the men that you seem to know, and I just say, you don't even date these men. How do you know what they're like with women? You don't date them, or are you? Or are you dating them? You fucking them? Because how do you know? Because are you the same way with your boys as you are with your women? I can't stand y'all. And he says it doesn't seem true because Ethiopia was never colonized, but I never said they were colonized. I used the example of the matriarchy that existed to correlate a theory that I had based off something that I heard. But again, he's so focused on being, feeling like Black men are being misrepresented and feeling hurt and just in his feelings over what I'm saying, he can't process what I was actually saying, right? And then he said that they would still have the system that they do. I don't know what that means. Why would they still have the system? It's been how many years? Systems fall all the time. It has nothing to do. Then he goes into the African lineage that we come from is West African, not East African. So it wouldn't have any genetic memory passed down. When I talked about that in the video, I wasn't saying that we were from there. I was saying that as a whole, because I was talking about Black men globally, because you guys have been colonized globally to certain extents. Even though you may have not gone through chattel slavery per se in Africa in the same way that the Caribbean and the rest of the diaspora has, what I will say is that you do all worship a white Jesus. You've been colonized and brainwashed with white supremacy one way or the other, right? And if the men hated the matriarchy, they would have risen up. They couldn't, sweetie. I explained that in the video too. You didn't listen to how the women ran it, right? So they probably did need the white man to come in and help them free themselves. to take over, because the way that the women ran their government, and this was not Ethiopia, this was Libya that I was talking about. I talked about Ethiopia and Libya. This is how I know he didn't really watch it. He was watching it to respond, not to understand. But the women in Libya that I was talking about, that he's misrepresenting as Ethiopia, did not allow men to have that kind of power, because they thought that men would do exactly what they in fact did with the help of white men. So he loves us, then all that bullshit. He's full of shit. He doesn't love anybody, because if he loved anybody, he would do the research, he would be knowledgeable, and he would be willing to empathize with Black women and understand that what we are going through with Black men is not made up in our minds. It's not a made up thing. It's not over exaggerated. You're minimizing the pain and trauma that we go through at your hands. And that's why I don't fuck with y'all. It's really why I don't. So I said to this, you and your experience is not a reflection or measurement of what's going on globally. We know you're okay with it because you allow terrible things happen to the women and children in the community every day, and we have been. Sorry. Last I checked, 1 in 4 Black women were SA'd before the age of 16. In most cases, it was a family member by both women and men, but way higher with men being the predator. You're choosing to be ignorantly up these. Oh, I was typing really fast, but I was like, you were choosing to be ignorant to these facts, which is why it continues. Okay, bye. See, this is what I was worried about. Let me come back around, because I think that skipped it. So, Jade, the villain, came back in, and she's like, so wait, when you say this is ridiculous, are you saying, oh, wait, no. See, this is the misconception. They're messed up. I put them all in order, and they're still messed up. But basically, Jade then came in, and we're going to do a little side swipe, right? So he answers Jade, and he said that he felt like what I was saying in the video, if you know history, which he doesn't. He doesn't know anything about what I'm talking about. He's not put any type of research into this. He's literally engaging in the Matilda effect because he feels like he knows better than he must, right? So he goes, what do you say in the video? If you know history, it's kind of hard to believe her reasoning because of history doesn't add up either. I don't understand, who ushered in chattel slavery? Who helped with build and create the transatlantic slavery? We were sold into slavery a lot of the time. We were given up into slavery a lot of times by African men. I don't know why he's trying to act like that is not a truth. So she said, okay, I interpreted your original comment correctly then. And I agree with everything she said in the post based on past history and current occurrences. Do better, which I said exactly too. Right. So I said our men leaders are not, because he at one point, and I thought, again, this is so out of context because he made this comment where he was saying that he backtracked. So first, men would never do it. And then when I pointed out that men did it, he was just like, well, what am I supposed to do about that? We can't stop that. So it's happening. You acknowledge that it's happening. You acknowledge all the facts that I said when I stated about, 1 in 4 Black girls being SA'd, mostly being in the home, all these things, right? And he came at me like, oh, what am I supposed to do about it? You just said that you guys didn't participate in those things. So because you can't dispute the numbers, you probably tried to, looked it up, saw that I was telling the truth and decided to, again, pivot as most men do and make excuses and try to act like there's nothing you could do about it. And you can't stop men from doing these things. So I said, our men leaders are not. Leadership requires taking responsibility. You want to act offended after I prove the point of Black men as a collective not stepping up to protect women and children in the community. After you declared loudly that you and other Black men would never let that happen, you went from saying we wouldn't allow that to what do you want us to do about it? Real quick. And who is her? The girl in the video speaking and reading the information is me. Here he goes, moving the goalpost, again, standing firm. Ma'am, if I get superpowers, that would be my first atrocity to stop. So you admit you need superpowers to do it. You, in fact, do not have the strength, the willpower, the courage to do it as a Black man. You're now backtracking. Backtracking into the man that I'm literally, into one of the men that I'm literally accusing in my video, and why I believe that you guys would be perfectly okay. You wouldn't have done anything to stop it. All that stuff, right? So if I got superpowers, that would be my first atrocity to stop. But until then, I can't be held accountable for the entire globe. And yes, I was speaking on the lady in the video. The way that they backtrack, y'all. The way that they backtrack. All I think about is this.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
That's like, what? Come on, let's do better, right? So, okay, so I thought that I had a clip of the full picture. Hold on. I know I'm struggling a little bit, y'all. I'm still getting used to this. So I said, okay, so men can and do harm women then. And are you saying that the problem is that there isn't enough good guys to combat the bad, therefore nothing can be done? And if so, why do you have a problem with women like me who speak up and challenge it? All while also admitting that men such as yourself feel that there's nothing that can be done about it. Like, why can't you all come? Like, why can't you all come together and make the change? I mean, if the good men outnumber the bad men, I don't know, it's giving coward. He says, you act like women are getting beat down in the streets. This isn't Iran. You can spew all this hate. No one knocks on your door. Walk the street half naked. No one tells you anything. What are you doing about it? Like the lady said in the vid, you were warriors and ran nations. Mount up. I'll protect all the women I can. So then you go to victim blaming, right? Like he literally went to victim blaming. This is why y'all ain't shit. This is why we don't respect you. You're so disingenuous in what's going on in the Black community and how much of a contribution Black men are to its state. It's disgusting. Right? So I'm acting like women are getting beat down in the streets. So I said, I'm like, women were getting punched in the face randomly in New York not too long ago. Femicide and sex trafficking are at an all-time high, but you want to sit in my comments and make excuses for y'all? Y'all ain't shit. When it comes to women and children, Black women are unaliving Black women in the US every 4.5 hours. Get the F out of here. And then I also wanted to know what my discrepancies were. Where's your evidence? I provided modern day stats to prove my point about what you said about Black men. Can't handle it? Not my problem. And another thing, men are still enslaving women today in Africa and across the globe. You absolutely allow it. They are so disconnected from the world, and they don't want to be connected. They don't want us to be like, he's so mad that I've educated myself on this because he can't take advantage of me the way that he wants to. So it goes back again to her comment underneath, but we're going to pass that because we did that, right? So when he said that I don't know history, so he said, what's she saying in the video? If you know history, it's kind of hard to believe. Her reasoning because of history doesn't add up either. Again, this man does not know history. He's literally going off by what he thinks and feels. Again, Matilda Effect in full force. I did a video on Matilda Effect. I'll also put that in the description box below if you want to check that out to kind of further understand what that is. But in short, it's men believe them and use themselves as their own references for what they believe. They have no evidence, no proof sometimes, The video is actually more talking about men in academia, but it also translates here with men, just random men in general. I can't tell you how many men that I've spoken to that tell me and state things to me as facts with no credible sources. They just heard it somewhere at some point, probably on a red pill podcast, that they're just regurgitating and have not taken the time to learn about themselves. Right? So I said, you definitely don't know history. You definitely don't know it better than the anthropologist that wrote the book I was reading from. Did you even graduate high school? Most of you don't even have the reading levels of a fourth grader. Get out of your feelings and actually look into it before running your mouth regurgitating misogynistic tropes. So then he again tries to move the goalpost by bringing up a book that he's read. Have you ever read The Iceman Heritage? If not, you should. I'm just stating the facts. Ethiopia was never colonized, therefore they would still have that culture if it was truly the culture, and it wouldn't affect the DNA memories of American blacks. Because for the most part, our African history come from West Africa. If you can't handle critical thought about your statement, don't say them so loud. Send them as the DMs to your echo chamber. Bitch ass nigga. So again, him just spewing shit, not realizing that I was using what Voyager, who traveled Africa, noted about Ethiopia and noted about Libya and how it ties into my theory about black men globally. Okay? Again, you can't follow. So I said, I never said it was, but I'll say this. They did adopt Christianity from a Greek Christian missionary, white man. Although many of you like to believe that Christianity was born there, they in fact adopted white Christianity sooner than most colonies and also adopted their white patriarchal mindset. See, I never once said they were colonized. You're not even on topic with the video. It's okay. I know you have to do that to move the goalpost of the conversation to try to change the subject. Sad though. He said, what's the timeline we are talking about? They adopted Greek Christian doctrines. I'm not trying to argue with, and I am willing to learn new information. I don't have any inherent bias towards you as you do me. I said, I am biased because I am biased because I won't let you twist my words and misrepresent what I was saying. You're no victim here. I'm addressing you and the disrespectful way in which you speak on me and what I'm speaking on. Nothing about our conversation gives the impression that you came to my timeline with respect. Now to answer your question, Frumentius, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Frumentius, that's what I think it is considered the first bishop of Axum and played a key role in the conversion of the Ethiopian kingdom to Christianity, a matriarchy turned patriarchy. So then he tries to backtrack again. How would that affect black men in America? I never said that. Like, I just know he wasn't listening to the video. Again, listening to respond and be in his feelings, right? So he's like, how would that affect black men in America? I apologize for the perceived disrespect. My initial statement could have been seen that way. It just doesn't add up to me. It was a leap from one point to the next. So I'm not just speaking on black men in America. I'm speaking on them globally. Let me let this pass by. I'm not speaking to just black men in America. I'm speaking on them globally as they're indoctrinated into white male supremacy under patriarchy. I feel like I was very clear with that, what I said, most of which was a theory I had based off what I've been hearing as well as what I've been reading and learning in my research to further understand the need for men to oppress and subjugate the women in their communities. These are basic high school English class structures when analyzing texts. You guys know text to text, text to world. Come on. So he said, well, it was a stretch to me to jump from men holding resentment for being taken care of by women and would accept the horrors of slavery for them because the person that has to die in war is the one taking care of the other, being given that what the child needs and not having to hunt or buy it is being taken care of. I wouldn't say I wouldn't want it because I would feel lazy as a man, but I've been in place where men do the heavy lifting, so it's a culture thing. And I reiterated, that's exactly what they did and did and still do allow those things to happen to their women. I've already provided you plenty of modern day stats to display my argument. You've provided no rebuttal, just moving the goalpost to suit your discomfort from the truth. That's a you problem. And I'm not looking for agreement. I'm not looking to change your mind. I'm actually really only speaking with and to women. Everything you said about hunting and dying in war was clearly displayed in my video. I clearly talked about two societies of many that existed where the women did all those things and had thriving civilizations. You can't fathom it because you've bought into the white man's patriarchy. You actually think women, Black women, can't do these things based off gender? We are the first beings. All of you come from us, with men being a mutation of who we are. But whatever. For me, this conversation ends here. It didn't, I wanted it to, but he just came back for more, and I just couldn't help myself. Oh, this is not a part of it. That's another one for another video for Christians. So here he's another miss. Hold on, let me see. Damn. So I think this is what comes first. I said, nothing in creation says men were first. Hold on, let me see. Let me make sure. See, okay. I think that's right. Yeah, I was right. So I said, nothing in creation says men were first. You can't even give birth. Get real. Me pointing out truths isn't hate. You see it that way because above all else, you only care about your image as Black men. You don't really care about us, or you wouldn't dismiss very clear evidence that you aren't stepping up to protect anyone and never have. It's why you ignored the very real stats I gave you. You're not leaders. You proved it earlier in the conversation. Tell yourself what you need to, though. It's sad. Who said man was first? You assume and have no sight. So yeah, not giving pearls to swine. Said if being honest about what's happening and has been happening makes me hateful, then so be it. You're the swine, giving excuses for your fellow brethren's behavior, making excuses for it while simultaneously also admitting you and your fellow men are too scared to step up and stop anything. Very happy to see other Black men do the opposite on this thread, because there were a couple of men who came and actually surprisingly admitted that they felt I was right, and admitted that the connections that I made were logical and that they made sense and understood why I was making the analysis that I did. So I was actually surprised at that, right? So I said, very happy to see other Black men do the opposite on this thread. It lets me know that not all of you are a lost cause. Now, unfortunately, yes, guys, that was kind of annoying that I thought it was I probably should have checked to make sure it was all in order the way that it should and that I had all these slides. I think some of the slides that I skipped before actually came later. But you guys are getting the gist of what is happening here, right? And what he was trying to say. Black men, if you're watching this, I do think you're the villain. You're the villain because you allow it. You're the villain because you don't do anything about it. You turn a blind eye to it. You make excuses. You gaslight us and tell us it's not what is and is not happening to us as a collective, even though the high numbers of data and stats showing that you are our number one predator, you are our number one violators, you are our number one murderers, right? So I wanted to definitely just take the time to talk about this comment. There were others like that as well. This was the one that I chose to share. I am going to be doing this, so beware if you leave a comment on whether it's YouTube, TikTok, or anywhere else. I will be screenshotting it and I will be putting your ass on blast, and I will be using it to further prove my points. All right, so I'm gonna just close off this video. I want you guys to remember to like, share, comment. Those are all free ways to help support the channel. I want to thank all my new subscribers. I appreciate y'all so much. And I love y'all. And we will talk soon. And I just want to end it with this.
I've been seeing that, like, hating men is becoming like a trend, and that is my culture, and please do not make my culture just one of the trends that you guys do, because that stuff means a lot. Like, hating on men is a lot to, like, me. So take it seriously, please.
I'll talk to y'all later.
Yes. I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.